It is party time, Mom. Welcome to another episode of the Chad Prather Show. It is Tuesday. You know what it is. It's Monday's hangover. That's right. And everybody is heading into this week full of excitement. My favorite person, Kayla, and Super Mario Chris Cruz are driving us into the nether regions of all things insanity and crazy, and that's what we're going to get into today. One of my favorite human beings on the planet, Ariel Scarcella, is in the hot seat. Welcome to the show. I'm glad you're here.
It's been a year since I've seen you.
That's
right?
insane.
I know. It doesn't feel like that. It feels like I just saw you.
Time is like...
Yeah.
Like, I remember, like, we went and shot guns, and then we went to dinner and hung out and talked
You took
stuff.
my gun virginity. That was the first time I ever shot a gun.
That's right. It was your first time.
They let me shoot the gangster gun. Remember, I was like...
The Tommy gun.
Yeah,
we went over
They
to
were like,
Texas.
yo, you're an Italian from Brooklyn. I was like... I'm ready. Let's go.
When I go over to Texas Gun Experience, that's my favorite. If I'm going to shoot a machine gun, which is not that big of an experience for me, because it's like, brrr, and it's like you've shot your wad, right? And there's whatever, $180 gone.
True.
But that's the Tommy gun is my favorite one.
That was the coolest one.
Like
that
you
was
just feel the
one.
power behind
oh my
that
God.
thing, right?
Yeah, and I've had. Let's not go there. I was gonna say I know people that have been in the mob that have literally used those. not my family, but like friends of family.
Sure.
Yeah.
You're from Brooklyn. Everybody
knows. Everyone's family. Everybody knows everybody.
Yeah. But I'm glad you're here. Follow her on Instagram, Ariel_Scarcella. And the Ariel is 2 L's and an E on the end, okay? Ariel_Scarcella on Instagram. Where do you like people to follow you? Instagram, where else?
YouTube, I would say, is probably my main platform.
Okay.
That's like, my Instagram is like my lowest.
Yeah.
Maybe because I'm not like as
yeah.
as woke and cute as
Are you
some
still
of these
doing
people.
like the OnlyFans thing and all that stuff?
I am.
doing
Yes.
that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm a conservative leaning person that has an OnlyFans account. Because my body, my choice. I stand by that, right?
Yeah.
And that includes the vaccine mandates and stuff. Yeah.
I need to go join your OnlyFans. I want to see what you look like naked.
I'm not naked on the page, but listen, I'm down.
You never know who's going to be naked on your deal, though. I mean,
that's true.
We'll talk about more of that stuff later on. You have people ask me sometimes, like they know that you and I are friends, and they'll say, "So what does Ariel do?" I was like, "That's an interesting question."
I don't know how to explain it at this point in my life either.
I'm like, she has interesting conversations with interesting people.
That's a really good way. Thank you.
You
that's a
get
good way of
people.
putting it.
You get people to open up. Like you're almost like a sexual Oprah.
Okay. You get a dildo and you get a dildo. And
you know what? They say
true.
size doesn't matter, but they don't sell 2-inch dildos. So something to think about. Yes, it's going to be that kind of Tuesday.
Yeah.
2-inch Tuesday.
2-inch Tuesday.
Do you think you could get away with that more because of your own sexual orientation?
Yes, of course, and because I'm a lesbian.
People
people see me as less
people
threatening.
Just open up.
Yeah, lesbian privilege is a real thing. Listen, I've made videos on it.
I've wondered about that.
Yeah.
Like people think it's cool just to open up to you because you're a lesbian.
Yes.
I'm a lesbian.
I think so.
I
you
mean,
know what? The woke people would agree with you.
Yeah.
Yep,
I mean,
they would.
I can identify as that.
You can.
Get more people to open up to me.
Yeah.
I don't think I need any more people opening up to me, honestly. I don't think, though, the day that brings back memories because, like, it seems like yesterday we went and shot those guns and hung out. Like, that was the first day I ever met Sydney Watson in person.
Wait, what? I didn't know that.
We knew each other. Like,
I did not know that. You guys got along like instantly. I just thought you knew each other.
We've gotten along instantly ever since.
Ever since, yeah.
Yeah.
She's like the straight version of me.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's a sweetheart, but like sassy on screen.
Anybody that watches, when I'm a guest on their show, You Are Here, people start to pick up on, or if she's been on this show, they pick up on that tension between me and her because we have that kind of that little thing. It's almost like a sexual tension that's between us just because we're we're that good of friends, but we're not sexual.
Maybe that's why the tension's there.
That's usually why the tension is there.
Yeah.
But somebody sent me a message this morning, and they were like, "Can't wait for you and Sydney to be president and first lady." And they get those messages all the time.
Oh yeah, people ship everybody,
and I
love it.
She's I could be her father, but I mean, hey, I'm not gonna kink shame.
I'm not gonna age. Yeah, we're not doing.
Who cares? Oh, we got a lot to talk about. You know what? Let's do it. Let's go to a break, and then we'll get into the craziness. But before we do it, the Social Security Administration's computers, I've told you, they're 45 years old. The servers at Health and Human Services, 50 years old. That's how these cyber criminals are hacking into the U.S. Census Bureau's computers where everything about you is stored. The threat of some cyber thief stealing your credit card isn't your biggest risk. Your massive risk is when he takes over ownership of your home. It's called home title theft, and the FBI calls it one of the fastest growing crimes. Cyber criminals simply hack into vulnerable government, bank, or mortgage company servers where copies of your home's title is stored. He forges your signature stating you sold your home to him. Then he borrows on your home and leaves you in debt. You won't know until collection notices show up. So protect your most valuable asset. Go to HometitleLock.com. Register your address to see if you're already a victim. Use promo code RADIO, and they'll give you 30 free days of protection. Again, HometitleLock.com. Do it. Go to HometitleLock.com. Use promo code RADIO. Ariel and I will be right back. All right. Let's see. I get a story later I'm going to tell you in later on in the show because I want your input on it.
We love story time.
I told you a little bit about it, but it's an experience that I had the other night, and I want your perspective on it. We'll get into that. It was interesting, to say the least. There was a Hispanic voter. We're still talking about this Glenn Youngkin win over Terry McAuliffe in Virginia, the governor race. It's just an example, again, this thing in Virginia, in New Jersey, various places with this election just proves that people are tired of having radicalism crammed down their throat, right? But there was a Hispanic voter. Telemundo spoke to Juan Perez. Play the clip.
Yo creo que Biden me convirtió en republicano. Biden está destruyendo la economía, la inflación está por los cielos y es terrible todo.
He says, I believe Biden turned me into a Republican. Yeah. Biden is destroying the economy. Inflation is through the roof and everything is terrible. And apparently everybody speaks Spanish. But he was talking to Telemundo. Telemundo. You ever watch soap operas on Telemundo?
No, but they're all very animated. I know. Yeah.
Somebody gets slapped, and then they're making out again. Telemundo. So passionate.
Yes.
I love saying the word Telemundo.
Telemundo.
Telemundo. But no, this is what you're going to see. Glenn Beck talks about the pendulum, right? It swings so far out there, eventually it swings back. Because let's face it, do you think that people are kind of made to live in the middle?
Yes.
I mean, that's where we live. May not be where we talk, but it's where we live.
It's a healthy place to live.
Yeah.
Yeah, because too far in either direction is it's not offering any instances to change and to grow. You have to stay on this side or this side. That's not healthy.
No,
you have to kind of swing a little bit. Okay, like where's the comfort zone for both? Like in the middle of both.
Like if I'm picking airplane seats, sometimes I want to sit on the left side of the plane. Sometimes I want to sit on the right side of the plane. I mean, I don't want to sit on the wings.
It's not the same, you said?
It's not the same. Like, am I feeling left-handed today or right-handed? I tell people all the time, I'm like, I don't want to sit out on the wing, right? That's uncomfortable. Like, if you choose to be, the point is that if you're choosing to get way out on the wings, there's something wrong with you. And you have people who live in the extremes. By and large, I don't think that's where most people live.
No.
They're the ones people pay attention to because
they're the loudest.
And they're just obnoxious.
Always.
And so when you have a puppet president like Biden, who, again, has his balls in a vice by the squad, I mean, the radicals that are in Washington, D.C., and he panders to that nonsense, and they're getting fed up with it. Like, you had a journey.
Yeah. And my journey for those.
Tell your journey.
For those people who don't know, I think I assumed I was part of the radical left, but I never really was.
Yeah.
I was always kind of more of a moderate, classic liberal, I guess. And when it started going more and more to the left, like this pendulum you're speaking of, it started to, like, you know how they say, oh, first they came for the Jews, then they came for the blacks, then they came for it started to come for me. by, as you know, going further and further left, and I realized this back in 2015. I just didn't say anything. I started speaking out against, you know, gender radicalism and stuff like that. And you know, it took me till 2019 to finally come out and be like, and it was harder to come out as a more conservative leaning person on certain issues than coming out as gay. It was much, I lost at least 200 friends. At least. Kidding. I lost sponsorships. I lost my network. YouTube demonetizes me constantly, but it's worth it. And I think people are starting to wake up, especially the Hispanic community. Like, I was literally here coming into Texas 4 days ago in the airport. I went to get a smoothie. There was 3 Hispanics, you know, I don't know where they were from, behind the counter working, and I had my Let's Go Brandon hat on, and they were like, "We love that," and I was like, "Oh my God, thank you!" Like, because I get a little nervous, like when I'm around people that, because we assume naturally, right, because of all the propaganda, that people that are not white and not straight aren't gonna like people that wear more conservative, you know, that hats or shirts or whatever, or the Trump voters. But every single one of them was like, "No, we know what's going on. We hate him."
So my buddy, who's probably watching the show right now, my buddy K-Dub, Kevin Wade, he was Kevin's smart dude, MIT, fighter jet pilot in the military's retired captain, Delta international pilot. Smart dude, right? Which, you know, notwithstanding, he's a black guy. And the other day he made the post, he said, "I'm tired of the media using black people." Like, they're continuing, like this whole, with the race being white supremacy thing, you know, it's like, by and large, that's not the rhetoric of the black community. This is the media putting words in the mouth of the black community. So you're right. So because you hear it from the media over and over again, if you say it enough times, it becomes true. And it's true of all these, quote, communities, which I hate, because they love to categorize and marginalize, whether it's the gay community, the black community, Hispanic community. But by and large, people are just the pendulum swinging, and they're sick of it.
Yeah.
Call it being red-pilled or whatever, but you know, AOC came out in, I don't know if you saw this, James Carville. And I can't believe I'm at a point where I'm agreeing with James Carville. He's like, "It's because of this wokeness out here. These kids out here, they got this wokeness and they got to get away from," you know, in this Cajun way of saying things. And he's talking about the reason that pendulum swings is because of the radicalism of wokeness. And AOC came out and said, "Oh, that's just basically a boomer term. Only the old people they're only the ones using woke."
I'm pretty sure millennials invented the term. It's like, pretty sure it was people that are in their 30s, my age, that, we're fairly liberal, but we're not leftists. Like, that's the big difference. We're not crazy. And we work with logic and with science. And, we could tell the difference, I think.
And I consider myself, and you used the term a little while ago, a classical liberal.
Yeah.
I consider myself a classical liberal. I'm a fiscal conservative.
Same.
I believe in small government, get the government out of our lives. I'm a social liberal in that, to the degree, like, again, I don't want people cramming it down your throat, but again, that's not classical liberalism.
Right.
You know, would you say, as JFK did, ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country. It's about, hey, I'm out here, I'm a free person, and to the degree that I'm willing to help my country and my countrymen and women, then, I'm not cramming it down your throat, trying to change you. So I think we're going to see more and more and more of this as hopefully as we head into the 2022 election, which is going to be huge, because people are sick of this nonsense. I mean, for instance, Microsoft, right? This is crazy. Microsoft, I don't know if you've seen those videos. You've seen them. I have,
of course. Oh, my God. It's terrible.
You did a video kind of making fun of some of this stuff as well.
Yes.
So they're doing these woke corporate introductions. Just play the clip. This is real. This is not satire. This should be Saturday Night Live. This is real. Play that sucker.
I'm a Caucasian woman with long blonde hair, and I go by she, her.
I'm Nick Fillingham. I'm a Caucasian man with glasses and a beard. I go by he, him, and I'm a security evangelist here at Microsoft.
Did he say security evangelist?
Yes.
What the hell does that even mean?
I don't, like, you tell the good news about security?
I have no idea what that means.
I mean, evangelist comes from the Greek euangelion. It means a messenger of good. So he's a good messenger of security. I don't like. They're just making shit up at this point. Do the next one.
First, we want to acknowledge that the land where the Microsoft campus is situated was traditionally occupied by the Sammamish, the Duwamish, the Snoqualmie, the Suquamish, the Muckleshoot, the Snohomish, the Tulalip, and other Coast Salish peoples since time immemorial. A people that are still here, continuing to honor and bring to light their ancient heritage. My name is Allison Wines.
And if you really cared about that, Allison, you wouldn't be reading those names off the teleprompter.
Yeah,
I mean,
she would have done her history and known exactly what, you know.
I guarantee you before that, she had to look at a producer and say, now, how do you pronounce Snohomish?
Yeah.
How do you pronounce Snohomish? Because I'm sorry, Allie, you don't know because you don't care. But, I mean, my gosh, this is the kind of stuff. I'm going to do a video. You actually gave me the idea. I'm stealing your idea, Ariel.
Take it, please.
I think you and I should do, like, that would be funny. Yep. Like, you should put us up there and let's parody this deal.
I'm down.
And we can list off all the things that we are.
Identify as. Like, my first thought when I saw the guy say that he has a beard, and I said this to Chris before, it was like, I wouldn't stand up in front of a Microsoft audience and be like, "Hi, I have blonde highlights in my hair and I have no hair in my vagina because I get laser hair removal." Like, why would I don't understand the point of that.
This
like,
is
it makes
why
no sense.
I love you so much.
I have no filter.
I
don't know
love
if it's the Italian or the New Yorker or if it's just my personality.
I
I'm just
love it. I
none.
have blonde highlights and no vagina hair.
That's it.
That is fantastic.
That's it.
I'm a Caucasian man with glasses and a beard. I go by he, him, and I'm a security evangelist here at Microsoft. Oh, my God.
To me, when somebody says things like that, it's almost a way to, like, defer them being called white supremacists or bigots because it's like, well, look at all these other things that I might, that you might not know about me that, gives me oppression points or something.
My name is Chad. I am a Caucasian. I identify as was-were. I have a receding hairline. I have dark hair when it grows in, and I'm a grower, not a shower. I mean, this, oh my gosh.
It's so good. Oh.
The Sammamish, the Duwamish, the Snoqualmie. Oh my Lord.
Those are really cool names, though.
They really are, right? Yeah. Squamish, the Muckleshoot. I want to be from the Muckleshoot tribe. That sounds like something in a Dr. Seuss land right there. Like, oh my God, these heritages, you're making fun of their heritages. Yeah, so. Tulalip, Snohomish. Thanks, Allison Wines, however she said her name. Oh my gosh. This is the world we're living in. And you know what? They're going to keep writing these jokes for us, Ariel. They're going to keep writing these jokes.
Yeah, as much as I hate this.
Yeah.
It just makes our careers longer.
It does. It really I mean, does. It gives us material.
Job security.
So, like, people always say, "Oh, you made money because Trump got elected." No, I made less money because Trump got elected. Had what's the bitch's name? Hillary Clinton. Had she gotten elected, then I would have made way more money in the 4 years of that administration.
Although, calling out all the nonsense that happened. Yeah.
Well, because
exactly.
because not only that, we wouldn't have had all the censorship crap that would have happened because Trump got in.
Right.
So that's when they started squeezing everything on us. Hey, give me an ad read here. I want to take a break and then come back to some more stuff. I've got to tell my story because I want Ariel's take on this thing. We've been telling you about Chamonix, Samantha from Arcadia, California, raving about her remarkable results. She said, "I love Genucell plant stem cell therapy. I have used it all over my face, under my eyes. It's cleared up the flakiness, even reduced my forehead lines." And someone even asked if I had work done. Nope, just Genucell by Chamonix. Fine lines, forehead wrinkles, dark spots, bags, puffiness under your eyes, gone right before your eyes. And best of all, guaranteed results in as little as 12 hours, or you get your money back. It's that simple. Now get this, Genucell has now sold over 1 million products. That's 1 million. It's for both men and women. People all across the country, once they try Genucell products, they fall in love and they buy them again and again. Now, one of the things that I like about Genucell, and I'll put it like under my eyes because I never sleep and I drink a lot, is like as soon as it doesn't leave like a residue. Some of those eye creams, they leave a residue there. Genucell doesn't do that. And then people look at you and be like, what's under your eye? And it's just your stuff. You don't have to worry about that. I mean, the stuff works. Like that, it works. So from now until Thanksgiving, you can see the difference yourself with 60% off on Genucell packages. Just go to lovegenucell.com/watchchad. That's GENUCEL.com/watchchad. Get 60% off the packages. Order now and express shipping is free. That's lovegenucel.com/watchchad. I'm going to tell my story when we come back. Welcome back. Hey, do you ever wonder why we refer to the woke folk as the woke mob? It's because they act like a mob. Maybe more importantly, they often act like the mob. If there's one thing that we've all learned from watching decades of Martin Scorsese movies, it's that when the time comes for you to pay your dues to the wise guys, you better pony up if you happen to enjoy the ability to walk on unbroken kneecaps. And it doesn't matter much if you had a rough mouth, little Johnny needed braces, little Susie had a birthday, none of that. You'd better toe the line or woe betide you. If you haven't heard already, Green Bay Packers quarterback Aaron Rodgers recently tested positive for COVID-19 and was not allowed to play this past Sunday in a game against the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, a couple of days before that, he went on a podcast, the Pat McAfee Show, and went on a justifiable tirade against all the usual woke suspects for the way they treat people who, like himself, are unblah-blahed. Well, cancel culture is alive and well, and Rodgers is frankly fed up with it. Now, it's worth noting that Rodgers is unblah-blahed because he's allergic to one of the ingredients in the blah-blah. Now, I don't know where you hail from, but in my part of the world, we call that a pretty damn good excuse not to take something. That doesn't stop the woke mob, who they never let common sense get in the way of a good narrative. And hey, let's not leave this particular turd sandwich bereft of the proverbial pickle on top. Rodgers is friends with Joe Rogan, and he announced that, like Rogan, he's taking ivermectin and other therapeutics in the wake of contracting the virus. And guess what? He doesn't even have horseworms anymore. But he feels great, is what he said. He feels great. And here come the good fellas swinging the baseball bat and throwing out half Italian, half English phrases at the top of their lungs. And you better believe they mean business. It doesn't matter that he's allergic to the blah, blah. He's out of line. And you'd better believe that if they can cancel him, they will. Because here's the thing. Not only do the facts of this particular case not matter, they will never matter. Like those goons outside your pastry shop just waiting for you to open up so they can come get themselves a 5-finger discount on the contents of your cash register. The woke mob just want you to submit and pay what they think you owe them. Bend the knee, folks. That is the message of the day. Now, the left has spent decades building a religion, and the deity that sits atop their shrine is an idol made of plastic. Two things are written on it, science on the top and made in China on the bottom. But the point is, it's a false idol. The science doesn't have to be real because it's just a placeholder for their real God, which is control. A miserable, hellish creature that I always imagine looks a little bit like Nancy Pelosi after a hard night of drinking. So, Nancy Pelosi. People like Aaron Rodgers standing up to this, even when it's just on a podcast, are incredibly important to the future of our country because the value of publicly refusing to submit to madness cannot be overstated. We live in a time where it's no longer possible to just sit back on your haunches and watch new generations come up in a woke world. And if you're not alarmed by the things you're seeing, well, with the blah, blah, and so many other things, then you, my friend, don't need to be woke. You need to be awakened. And that's why we're here. This is crazy, this woke stuff, Ariel. You've been a victim of it.
Oh, my God.
I've been a victim of it. And again, if you look up the word woke, like they say, people who are enlightened to social justice, which is horse crap, okay?
Yeah, it is.
Like, that's just okay. Like, it's this Chris Pratt, like nobody. So Joe Rogan, Aaron Rodgers, Dave Chappelle, Chris Pratt, Johnny Depp. I mean, the woke mob's coming after everybody. It doesn't matter who you are. Doesn't matter who you are or what you've done. Chris Pratt, did you see this story?
Yes.
So they came after him. Like, Chris, I know Chris. Chris a good dude. Chris a good dude. He's a real dude. He thinks a lot of things like we do. He's been infected a little bit with the Hollywood-tism, but he got a whole lot of backlash because he did this kind of dumb little thing the way he does on his Instagram, talking about his wife, Katherine Schwarzenegger. He wanted to do a little sweet note. He put it out there, and Chris is just kind of goofy with the things he says, right? And if you hear him say it, it's cutesy. Maybe when you read it, sometimes not so cutesy. And he says, look how she's looking at me, because he got the picture of him there. So you find somebody that looks at you like that. I know we met in church. She's given me an amazing life, a gorgeous, healthy daughter. That's the phrase that got him in trouble. A gorgeous, healthy daughter. Yep. She chews so loudly that sometimes I put in my earbuds to drown it out. Oh, how dare he say something like that? But that's love. She helps me with everything. In return, periodically, I open a jar of pickles. Well, he's saying she's weak. That's the trade. Her heart is pure and it belongs to me, my greatest treasures. Right next to my Ken Griffey Jr. Upper Deck rookie card, which if you know, is saying a lot. It's her birthday in about 6 weeks, so if I don't get her anything, oh, how dare he say that? I'll tell her to look back on this post. Love you, honey. And so he put that out there. Well, he has another kid with his ex-wife.
With Anna Faris.
Yeah. And apparently the kid has some health issues.
Right. And of course, people took offense to the fact that he said healthy kid.
Healthy child.
Because
healthy
somehow
daughter.
saying that you have one healthy kid is degrading to the other kid or
typically when somebody has a baby, you say, mom and daughter are doing well, if you're going to assume the gender.
Can't do that these days.
Mom and baby are healthy and well, So again, it's just a phrase, and I don't think the guy was coming at his 9-year-old child who has had medical complications or health complications. So people went at him. I mean, went at the dude. He said, I knew if I put on my Christian music playlist and I got out in the woods and ran that I'd feel better, but I just didn't want to. He said he went for a run anyway. He's glad he made the decision. He said, gosh, I was right. It felt amazing. God sat there right next to me. He added that the experience left him emotional and that he felt God's presence while he was in the fire. Couple takeaways. One, Chris, I don't pity you a lot in this regard. You're a mega millionaire. You're an A-list celebrity. You're on top of the world. And the fact that the woke mob came at you that's not being in the fire, bro. That's literally not being in the fire, man. There are a lot of real persecution out there in the world, and the woke mob coming after you because you put your foot in your mouth and which again, you didn't put your foot in your mouth, bro. Like you just said what you wanted to say. That's the way you want. It's a post to your wife. Say whatever the hell you want to say. And the woke mob determined that what you said was wrong. That's the thing. Then they tried to attack you. They want to cancel you. And oh my God, how dare he? What do you think about all that?
I think that they're misplacing their like, what is this? What I read somewhere recently that it said people these days don't have a religion to look to. And I'm not religious. I am spiritual. Mm-hmm. But they don't have a religion to look to. Or there's less and less religious people in the world. And I said, that their new religion is wokeism.
That's true.
It's a new savior complex. It really is. And it's because they don't have something else to look forward to.
Yeah.
That they're coming after people, just like people that show up to your house with the word of God. Like, yeah, that's there's nothing wrong with that. But it's the same thing. It's the word of woke.
Yeah. There's I mean, God, what was it? Yeah, we don't really have time to talk about it. Well, yeah, let's just hang on. There's so much here. We got to do this. I was just thinking about that, that Afghan father that sold off his 9-year-old daughter to a 55-year-old man in order to feed his family. Yep. Like, that is abuse of a 9-year-old. Yep.
That's actual misogynistic stuff, and that's actual feminism that needs to, real feminism is fighting for women like that in those situations. It ain't
Chris Pratt trying to post a cutesy and
about his wife, right.
That's real stuff. But see, that's, again, the woke mob doesn't care.
They won't.
Because, again, they don't have a real sense. They got to create their victimhood.
Yep.
They've got to create their persecution and their oppression. iTarget Pro. Let's, I love every time I go off on the woke and then I start talking about shooting guns. It's almost time to start thinking about the holidays, and the first item on your list needs to be iTarget Pro. It's a revolutionary system that allows you to dry fire practice with your actual firearm in the comfort, safety, and privacy of your own home. You just don't hear the bang. You don't have to worry about the high cost of ammo. You can train right there regularly in your own home. You don't even have to go to the range. Download iTarget's proprietary app. You load the laser bullet, that sounds cool, into the firearm and start your training experience. It's going to help you develop muscle memory, sharpen target reaction speed, sight alignment, trigger function, whole lot more. iTarget Pro even comes in 223, so you can train with your AR and all the major calibers. So stay sharp with almost any firearm. Go to itargetpro.com. They'll save you 10% right now when you use offer code CHAD. I spell it Chad. Smart, safe way for you to practice. It pays for itself the first time you pull that trigger. itargetpro.com. Letter I, targetpro.com. Use promo code Chad. We'll be right back. Hey, and you know what? I want to be fair. Like, I don't want to give Chris Pratt and the woke mob more time than we give to this Afghan father that sold off his 9-year-old daughter to a 55-year-old man. He claims the economic conditions are so dire in the country that he was forced to sell his daughter in order to feed the rest of his family. Sold her for the equivalent of $2,200 in the form of sheep, land, and cash. He said, "This is your bride. Please take care of her. You are responsible for her now. Please don't beat her." And the man said, "She will be working in my home. I won't beat her. I will treat her like a family member. I will be kind." Even if that's true, sad, right?
Yeah, terrible.
I mean, this is...
And you notice how the woke mob never, ever comes for Muslims.
Never.
Never. I made a video with this woman, this wonderful woman called Yasmin Muhammad. She runs a not-for-profit organization that helps people in these situations. And she literally was married to a member of Al-Qaeda and escaped and now lives in Canada, like an actual refugee. And she tells me horror stories. Like, these things happen in these types of places every day.
Yeah.
And the woke mob will never, ever call them out, ever.
No, they're not going to do that.
Not the homophobia, not the misogyny, nothing like that.
Never going to do it.
Nope.
You know, I sat on that. We did that Better Discourse event this past weekend. You had a panel. I sat on a panel. My panel was about China, right? And you get into the economic and the geopolitical and socioeconomic relations and just the atrocities of China, and you talk about all this stuff. And I brought up a point on that thing where I said that people don't even realize how much is built or bought, rather, because of the Uyghur slaves that are there, who are Muslims, and because Xi Jinping, who is the president from now until eternity of China, he believes that the Han race is the superior race, and the Uyghurs. Nobody wants to say anything about there's estimated probably between 500,000 and 1 million Uyghur slaves that are out there. You know, they go out and they pick the peppers. They use the peppers. It's toxic, by the way. They're not peppers that you eat. It makes them very, very sick. They pick these peppers. The peppers are used to create the pigmentation that goes in your lipstick, in your cosmetics, okay? So, and we think about, you got to get rid of your iPhone and you get your computer and all this kind of stuff. All the way to your cosmetics.
It's in everything. Yeah? Everything.
Organ donors, organ harvesting, the wig industry, because they shaved the heads of these Uyghur slaves, and that's where your wig hair is coming from. So it's crazy, this stuff that we do. But nobody wants to ever come at that.
Nope, they won't, and they never will.
No, because they
don't actually fight for injustice. They fight for oppression. They fight for moral superiority points. Yeah.
At the end of the day, they're attacking what they perceive to be the major paradigm, the ruling paradigm, and they want to attack it because at the end of the day, they want to be the ruling paradigm. They're not after equality, they're after control.
Yeah.
So these are real things that go on in the world. There's some major, really gross atrocities that happen around the planet. This father claims to be broken with guilt, shame, and worry. I will remind you, there are places in the world and times in history where people have eaten their children, even sold the meat of their children in order to have money. And you're going to worry about Chris Pratt's Instagram post. This is what I try to get across to people all the time. We have such a misplaced affection for the things that we deem important, right? And it's stupid. So that is a heartbreaking deal. And if you think that is the one story of that happening, I promise you, that ain't the one story. Then you got a baby that was born in Brazil with a tail, with a shape like a ball and chain. We were talking about about anatomical anomalies earlier, and how statistically rare those kind of things are. Wow, that's interesting. You give me some weird stuff, Chris. You really do, man. Oh, you know what we didn't do? We didn't do the test. We didn't do the gender test. So,
oh God.
So okay. So
I'm
real
ready
quick,
for
my
this.
story. My story. I got to do this.
Yes.
So last night I went to a friend's house. There was a lesbian couple who were there, and I just go in. I'm at a friend's house. I start making myself a drink. I'm over there all the time, and like start feeling the tension in the room.
Oh God.
And like the lesbian couple was like waiting because they knew who I was, and they were waiting on me to like attack them. Then I started talking to them, and they were like, "We have issues with you." And I was like, "What issues do you have?" And they were like, "Well, we just believe that you people are just trying to basically exterminate us, like you want us off the planet." And I was like, literally no one I know feels that way.
Nobody I know feels that way. That I've all these new friends that I've made.
Yeah,
on this side of things.
And they were
not
like,
one of them.
They were like, you need to educate. They kept calling us Republicans, right? Which was stupid, but I get it. That was the term they knew.
Right.
They said you need to educate all of your Republican friends to stop just coming. And I said, literally no one I know. I mean, I'm sure there's people out and I said, just because somebody may not agree with your lifestyle, I'm sure there's plenty of those people.
Right.
But I mean, there's people who don't agree with my lifestyle.
Right.
Whatever. But at the end of the day, I said, you've been wounded by your family. And I said, you're interpreting everything through a paradigm of hurt. And the hurt is real. And you think that everybody's out to get you because someone that you wanted to love you and accept you and care for you didn't. And they hurt you, and they claim to be, as you say, Republican.
Right.
And now you perceive everybody out there to be that way. And I said, literally no one I know.
Nobody I know. Nobody.
Yeah.
Not one. Nope. In fact, I get more homophobic remarks and misogynistic comments and treatment from people on the far left.
Yeah.
So
Same
for the
with
last
the
5 years.
Same with the racism that happens.
You ever see that TikTok where it's like the guy's wearing a woke shirt and the other guy's wearing a racist shirt, and everything they say, they agree with each other?
Yeah.
And it's because it's literally the same stuff.
Same stuff.
Yeah. He's like, yeah, I totally agree that white people are the ruling class, and they,
So we did the I don't know what that test was the other day about my gender, or the gender unicorn. And now you got the genderbread test, the genderbread person.
This is old news in the gay community.
So it's
finally making its way into your show.
Right?
the cis straight white male.
Yeah,
well, the problem it's not a problem. When we took the unicorn gender test and it was featured on the 4-minute buzz of the Glenn Beck program, everybody started saying, hey, Chad needs to take the genderbread test.
We got to take this.
So I mean, I guess
let's take it together because I've never taken this.
So gender identity, womanness or manness.
Okay.
I think manness.
Well, what does that even mean? That's sexist.
Well, it is sexist.
It's very sexist.
And I go back to the thing I said the other
womanness?
day. I'm sure I have some feminine tendencies in some way. Which is stereotypical to even say that.
Yeah.
It's sexist and
it's
stereotypical.
Sexist, yes.
Gender expression, again, I guess, masculinity. I mean, sometimes I might have a dainty wrist. I don't know. Anatomical sex. I took a shower this morning, and it was reasonably male.
There you go. Okay, so you got that figured out for yourself. I'm proud of you.
Yeah, I found it when I was 12.
Yeah.
So, let's see, sex assigned at birth. I think I assigned myself male. Sexually attracted to women and or feminine and or female people. Yeah. But again, they're attractive men. That doesn't mean I want to be like sexually involved with them. So I guess sexually attracted to women. I mean, I've done some freaky shit, don't get me wrong. But romantically attracted to women, yeah. Like men, they burp and smell and fart, and I mean Joe Biden, he can't even do it. He's in front of the freaking future the Duchess of Cornwall, and he's farting in front of her. I don't want to be with that. How does this test strike you? I mean, you're still a lesbian, right?
I'm looking at this. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it's like this is what's confusing kids these days, though.
Yeah.
Is because you figure this out at a very young age, right? Like I knew I was most people. Like I knew I was a lesbian at 9 years old.
Yeah.
Because funny story, I actually found some kind of like religious book or whatever it was, and it was like those religious paintings, and there's like boobs everywhere, like like the Venus, like Venus, whatever.
Our stories are very similar.
I swear to God, and I was like, well, yeah, it was like, yo, but
I love French paintings.
I swear to God, that's where I kind of knew. I was like, boobs, yes, dick, no. I mean, for me, it was that simple. Coming to terms with it was not easy, obviously. Mm-hmm. That's the social stigma, but I feel like most people know at 9 years old, 10 years old. They know their gender at 4 or 5 years old. If you have to be told these things, then you're not said things. Yeah. You just, with gender and with sexual orientation, you just know. Yeah. It's ingrained in you. You know, you don't have to be told. This is what's confusing kids.
Do you think there's any anomalies out there like this actually helps anyone?
I don't think this helps anybody. Yeah. I think all you would need to say is there are people with penises that are born that way, and there are people with vaginas that are born that way, and they're male and female, and there's some people that are born somewhat kind of in the middle because they have anomalies, like you said, and you can be any one of those three things and be attracted to people of any one of those one of those three types of people. Yeah. And that's it. That's all you need to tell kids. If they're trans, which is such a small percentage of the population, if you have to teach somebody about what trans is and then they think they're trans suddenly, they're not trans.
They're not trans.
They're not trans.
Yeah.
No. You don't have to tell a lesbian what a lesbian is because she already knows. She just might not have the word for it. Yeah. But she knows.
Like if you sit me in a room and put headphones on my ears and blare Village People music at me for like hours on end and like you just show me gay porn, I'm still gonna come out. I want to have sex with a woman.
Yeah.
Like you're not gonna change. You're not gonna brainwash me.
That's not how it works.
To be like, oh yeah, I got.
It works both ways.
Hairy ass.
Right. It works both ways. It's not how it works. Yeah. This and they peddle this around schools, right?
Yeah. I actually like it when it works both ways. Hello. Let's take a break. We'll be right back. Follow Ariel Scarcella. She's on Instagram at Ariel. I always want to say it wrong.
You can say you say it right.
I say Ariel.
That's right.
Which is right. But sometimes I'll throw out Ariel every now and then.
That's a Little Mermaid.
And I catch myself every time. Yeah. Ariel. And that's 2 L's and it ends with an E _Scarcella on Instagram. And look up her YouTube. Trust me, it's intriguing. You'll love it. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Always welcome. Let's don't wait another year.
No, I'm gonna be back in December, I think, for Sydney and Elijah's show. Yeah.
Okay, good. We should do that one together.
That would be,
that's
you and I get along really well.
We
vibe off each other. So.
I love you very much.
Yeah.
And hey, leave a rating and review where podcasts are offered. This one's from Lizzie54, his 38 special. Ooh, thank you for telling it like it is. I look forward to watching you and your guests that bring their perspectives to the topic of the day. Keeping it real. Oh, I will. Leave us a 5-star rating. That's what we deserve. It's all we'll take. Leave us a review, certainly. And come see me. WatchChad.com. That's where all the fun stuff is and has all the great information. Besides the campaign events out there at Prather2022.com, you can come to some live shows. We're going to be in Schulenburg, Texas on the 28th of November. Then we're going to be in Vidor, Texas on the 10th of December, and then on the 17th we're going to be in Arlington, Texas, on the 19th in Houston, Texas. Those are shows, okay? Campaign events, find them at Prather2022.com, and while you're there, leave us a little donation. We need it because we are fighting for Texas, and the fight is very, very real. Check us out. Ariel, thank you so much. Chris, thank you. Kayla, you're my favorite human. Thank you. Jennings is over there in the wings. Thank you for writing, Jennings. I would like to thank God, my parents. Are you accepting
a Grammy?
Yeah. I love you. God bless. Talk to you tomorrow. Bye.